So, what are 5 altcoins you can buy in May to make that 10x return as soon as possible? Well, I'm going to mention them today, but importantly, I'm going to pick the ones that I firmly do believe have a very strong chance to rebound on the current correction. So, of course, we're making some quick money, but guys, there's no such thing as quick guaranteed money, even in crypto, right? Some of these coins might not pop off in May, but the reason I'm picking them are because they are easily dissolved after this month. No, these are coins that I strongly have conviction in. I will tell you the ones I'm personally buying. I will tell you the ones that I have purchased, so you can be, of course, the most informed. With that being said, let's begin the video. Today, we're choosing altcoins right from this list, okay? We're choosing the very best performing altcoins or narratives of the current cycle. Now, if you don't know, narratives are super critical to look at because this is where the money first goes to. It's where it magnetizes to. So what we're looking at here is very important because this is the current narrative leaderboard of the bull run. Narratives are extremely important to look at in crypto because this is where money first magnetizes to. It's where money flows in, and from there, individual altcoins are chosen. But if an altcoin hits one or multiple very strong narratives, like we can see here, being memes, identity, AI, layer 2s, account abstraction, and so on, that means that it's more likely to reach more people, which means more money, okay? The quality of the project from there can be pretty mediocre, and it will still outperform a project that sounds fantastic in very poor narratives like NFTs. It makes the most amount of sense, okay? So we are choosing ones not just in the top performing ones list here today, but also narratives that I deem will be very, very good that so far haven't performed that well. Now, if you like the sound of that, but also you do find yourself learning something new today, or you just love finding new altcoins and learning about them, do not forget you can help support all my work over here to allow me to continue bringing you high quality crypto content by taking 2 secs, dropping a like down below, guys. It really does help support all my work over here. I sincerely really appreciate you doing that. And look, hell, even subscribing, of course, as you know, so you can achieve your crypto goals. So first of all, I want to point out the obvious here, right? The market's on a pretty massive downturn, or at least I shouldn't say massive, right? It's just having a healthy correction. But I use the word massive because this is giving altcoins a massive opportunity here today. And as you will see, some of the ones I'm going to talk about are on huge discounts. I am personally buying many of these and will pretty much be dollar cost averaging into all of them, all right? But the first one here is Pyth Network. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because Pyth won't 10x in May, all right? It's going to definitely 10x in this bull run. I'm personally at this price level expecting about a 30x or more out of the project. So we're going to get some pretty decent gains in this bad boy. It is an Oracle project built on Solana for Solana, okay? Leverages Wormhole, another one of my projects I'm invested in, to bridge out to many other different ecosystems, but it offers the best support for Solana, and it makes the most amount of sense, okay? So smart data for smarter contracts. Now, if you have a look at who's behind this, there's massive names that do support this and are data providers, which pull in the data from the real world to offer to, of course, Web3 services, Web3 applications, okay? There's over 100 of these now. When it first launched, it had about 90. So this is creeping up, but everything else is exploding rapidly. It's over 500 price feeds. These things are offered for every single network, okay? Unlike Chainlink, for example, one of its major competitors, or the only competitor in my opinion, the price feeds aren't the same for every which network, okay? They do offer more for Ethereum, like a whole bunch of price feeds, but when it comes to other networks they're on, not so much, but this is 500 for each chain. You can see some of the TVS here, total value secured for each of their networks. A lot of it is Solana and Sui. That, you know, for example, Injective Protocol, it's also up there as well in the high 90%. But if we come down and scroll even further, you begin to realize that things are growing exponentially, okay? Now, if anyone here ever has analyzed businesses or websites or anything before they invest, if charts look exponential, not linear, exponential, it's a pretty good indication something is brewing, which is the case over here. Alrighty, 7 billion TVS totally secured, which if we scroll down and have a look at how fast this has grown, okay, where are we down here? TVS, it is exponential. I might even zoom in a little bit for you all here. back only 2 months ago, it was at 2.5 billion TPS. Now it's at 7.1 billion TPS. Absolutely nuts. Not just that, of course, but look at the rich ecosystem here. These are all the networks, the blockchains that Pyth is on, again, offering all those 500 price feeds too. The list is crazy. You'll see names on here you don't see on the likes of Chainlink, which is like Hedera, for example, and some networks I've never even heard of. Either way, once those networks begin leveraging Pyth even more, and those DeFi applications, of course, do, you'll see that this list goes parabolic, I believe, okay? Not just that, you can see here the traded volume is also increasing and everything else. I mean, look at this. At worst, it's linear. At best, exponential, which is what you're trying to look for. And what I love about Pyth is everything is transparent. You can see all the reports for every single month as far back as December 2021. But I mean, you can just see the growth if you scroll back here a little bit, right? Look at this. Again, only 2 billion TVS. So big props to Pyth Network. I've made a full dedicated video on these guys and many others on this list today. But I do want to say, guys, if you want me to break down Pyth or any of these projects more, let me know which one down below because I absolutely can. And the last thing I'll say here quickly is that the holders of Pyth Network are currently almost 400,000 strong. This is just on chain. Off chain, there's obviously a lot more. And I don't know if it'll show up here, but there is currently about, no, I don't think it'll show me. There's about 110,000, here we go, of these people actually currently staking via governance. There's no APYs, no rewards. This is only staking for governance, which you can, of course, possibly receive airdrops for. So there's a lot of benefits in this case. That is why Pyth makes this list, because I don't think it'll take all that much for Pyth to absolutely 3, 4, 5x very quickly. And again, overall, I think a 30x is definitely on the cards. Now, if you're going to stop me and say, Coin, what's the most bullish project you have on this list? It's this. It's Goldfinch. GFI is the ticker, currently under $3. I was speaking with Mark recently, and I was jealous that he picked some up for $3.30. Okay, we have fallen down because of the market. I think we might even fall down a bit lower, and we really don't have all that strong levels of support. If we do, I believe, fall any lower than what we currently are, I think that we may fall down to around the $2.20 mark to $2 mark. This level of support over here, I know, CoinMarketCap, TA, I know it's probably the worst thing to do, but that is what I do believe, all right? Now, I think Goldfinch can very quickly and easily pump because it's in the real-world asset area. It's also in the DeFi or DeFi 2.0 space, and it does something pretty remarkable. It allows people to borrow funds, USDC particularly, without having to put up any collateral. So the plague right now with DeFi and crypto is that you have to put up more money than what you get back to borrow. And the only way that's viable is if you don't want to sell a position. Like say, for example, you want to borrow some money, right? You can put up your Ethereum as collateral without selling it. So you keep your Ethereum, borrow some money, obviously less, as there needs to be some less liquidation buffer basically. And then what happens is you can go and spend that. There's a term, you pay back the interest, you get back your Ethereum. You didn't have to sell your Ethereum position, okay? There is a lot of danger in that as well. You can be liquidated with, the market actually dropping down too far in this case, but these guys don't do that. They follow a pretty interesting mechanism. I would love to go through it with you in more detail. This is one project I will be doing a deeper review on because I haven't purchased it yet, but I will be purchasing this. I'm talking $10,000, probably even $15,000 I'm going to be throwing into this. I keep it 100% real with you guys on this channel, okay? So I'm going to tell you numbers. I'm spending a lot on this project because I think it's absolutely amazing, and I'm about to show you why. So actually, that's kind of the long story short, right? The long story short there is that the mechanism for this is you have borrowers, right? They want to borrow some money. They put up a contract. They put up the terms. They say, hey, I'm wanting to borrow this much money over this term for this reason. You have backers go in there like investors. They put the USDC into the pool. You have these things called auditors. Auditors go in there and approve the borrowers to do that, right? They audit this whole thing, and then it can be approved. Long story short, but that's for another video, okay? So these guys are looking to go multi-chain, which is the big thing here, okay? Recently, they started deploying contracts onto Base, right? The layer 2 on Ethereum built by Coinbase, which is a very strong chain. So I wanted to point that out. But like they mentioned here, they are now, well, they have been approved by the community to go ahead and make this multi-chain, okay? Now, if you go ahead and actually use the app itself, it's incredible, right? $75 million in active loans, which is pretty much the size of the entire market cap of the project, all right? So yes, pretty high interest as well. again, the list goes on, right? You can, again, put money up, you can make some passive income, or you can, of course, lend, right? Borrow, lend, whatever you want to use in that case. Now, this is where things get nutty. They are one of the very few projects actually in the tokenized asset coalition, right? So the real world asset coalition in this case, another word for saying tokenization, which includes the likes of Aave Base, Centrifuge, another big project I like as well, Coinbase, Real World Asset.xyz, Circle, and whatever the hell this project is. So these are massive names in the space. Additional participants are these other large projects, including Ava Labs. So these guys are such a low market cap, and yet, they are mingling with the big boys. Now, there is one concern I will mention over here for Goldfinch, and that is they do have not amazing tokenomics, but that is going to be disproven in the video I'll be making soon. No project doesn't come with risks, and there are, of course, risks with this, but I want to talk more about that in the next video. I just don't have the time to talk about the tokenomics of Goldfinch in this video. But probably the biggest and most bullish thing about this project is their investors. There is 25 investors on this list, and they have absolute behemoths. A16Z, you don't find these guys investing in shitcoins. You have Coinbase Ventures, another S+ tier investor. You have A16 actually doubling down on multiple different investment rounds, Coinbase, and we also do have actually A16s in 3 of these rounds, which you don't really see too often. So is Coinbase in doubling up here. But where is he? Balaji. Balaji is himself invested in this project, but even bigger in my opinion than Balaji. We have, where is he? Bill Ackman. Who is Bill Ackman? Guys, he is one of the well-known American hedge fund managers. 4.2 billion US dollars apparently as his net worth. It's probably a lot more than this. Either way, this guy is no joke, and he's invested in Goldfinch. So I think this project, from the current price, has absolutely no reason it can't 100x to a 6 billion market cap at its all-time high. Big project here. Next up is Synesis One. Now, I don't want to spend too much time talking about Synesis because I have in many different videos. At $24 million market cap, I've purchased this coin already. Not much, about $1,500 worth of the project. I want to probably triple down on this because it is a micro cap. It hits both AI and gaming intersected, but also play to earn, right? Technically, it's train to earn, but really it is play to earn as well. So I'll explain what this project is in a second. I bought some of this coin at about 5 cents, and so I'll be buying a lot more of it if it does fall to 5 cents or lower. We pretty much are there right now, and I think given the current multiples back up to its high over here, and I think it'll of course surpass this, that's already a 4x. So there is many multiples here, and again, I think this is one that, just like Goldfinch, could easily 100x as well. So like I said, train to earn, you can earn crypto, so you can either stake the SNS token, the native token on the project, or buy one of their Canon Exchange NFTs and stake that to be able to do this, right? You can actually go ahead and participate in what they call train to earn, all right? So what happens is, and what they focus on is training data sets for AI, all right? So you might have a business that wants to improve their AI model, right, to ensure that it is able to read and understand human cues and human language, which you don't really find all that too much, right? For example, if we had a conversation in real life and I gave you a cheeky little smirk, you might think that I'm maybe progressing with something, okay? Likewise, if you had an angry face towards me, then I would assume something is not right. And this is what they're ultimately doing for these AI data sets. Now, traditionally, these AI companies just think if you throw more compute at it, if you throw more data, that'll solve the problem. But ultimately, the answer is it won't, okay? So this is adding the human touch, which can do a lot of different things, right? Whether that's actual AI models digitally, whether that crosses over to physical AI, robots interacting with humans, it's going to do the whole lot, okay? Now, just like Goldfinch, these guys have a stacked list of investors, 5 S-tier investors. Now, you never see that, apart from Goldfinch, but you never, ever see that, guys, especially in a project this small. So that is definitely something to consider. Kinetic is one of those. We have D1, GBIC. We have, where are you over here? Master Ventures is okay, of course. A195 is okay. NGC is the other, and LD is the last. Massive names on this list. A whole scatter of A and B tiers as well. But what I was going to mention here is I've got Fetch's website up here, but I wanted to point them out because Fetch is migrating to ASI, that merger between those 3 AI projects. But what would be amazing to see is if ASI, the new token, actually leverage these data sets or this model from Synesis One. Now, yes, it's theory, it's this nice, cool idea, But if that actually happened, right, if these guys said, hey, our AI agents want to be top tier, let's go ahead and set a budget for Synesis One and work with those guys, that would pump the price of Synesis One up by a few hundred million dollars, instantly making, 30, 40 X's out of thin air. So again, and this is just theory, this is one possible situation, but you can only imagine all the possibilities that might come from it. So yes, it definitely has made it to my list today. Next up is zkLINK. Now, zkLINK is a layer 3 project. It is kind of connecting all of the layer 2 ecosystem on Ethereum, okay? Right now, layer 2 ecosystems are fragmented, okay? Even with some of their solutions, as we'll talk about here in a second, I will point out you have the AG layer on Polygon, and you do have Optimism's, I think it's Superchain or Hyperchain, where they allow this liquidity to be connected all into one. It's still fragmented because then you don't have the cross-chain capabilities between the two major layer 2 networks, all right? It connects all the, the layer 3s are built on the layer 2s or the dApps on the layer 2s, but doesn't connect the major layer 2s themselves, all right? So there's a big problem here. And what zkLINK is looking to do, by the way, the token isn't out right now, is just provide a mesh in between all of that. So really, it's the mega layer 3 interoperability layer of all layer 2s. Now, this is super interesting because they're focused on zero-knowledge proofs and the big buzzword of the cycle, modularity in layer 3s or app chains, okay? Now, they have two main products. They have their zkLINK Nova, which is kind of like that generalized interoperability layer between all of these projects, right? So it's general purpose. It can be used for anything. And then the zkLINK X, which is more focused on zk-powered applications in the same regard as well. So I've got a few slides open here. I kind of did explain it to you all, but I will read this last part. zkLINK Nova dApp users and developers can enjoy having access to aggregated liquidity from the entire Ethereum ecosystem. So that's the same for both zkLINK Nova and zkLINK X, but they point out Nova here because it is that generalized application in this case. Again, zkLINK is that second product. Now, again, they have the key features of zkLINK X here, but in my opinion, it's pretty much for both, all right? So that includes native asset aggregation, okay, which means users can easily manage all of their different token portfolios all in one place, all right? So you don't have to go ahead and exit MetaMask to go and do this on that chain and then you can have all one unified thing. So you can do cross-chain transfers all in one place, all right? It's very simple to do. Liquidity unification as well, which pretty much in summary, as I mentioned, allows tokens of the same kind but issued on different chains to be merged, into one single token, all right? So you don't have all those different broken liquidities on those different chains. Like in the example before, even if you have Hyperchain and AG layer, so those two different layer 2s, all connected together, you still have the problem of these two different base, USDC on Arbitrum, for example, USDC on Polygon, USDC on Optimism. Well, now they're all connected into one. So it's unified liquidity, which is fantastic, and customizable app roll-up deployment as well. So this just allows for modularity. You can build on top of zkLINK and have a very customizable project, even build a whole entire app roll-up itself. So like a layer 4, technically it would be, and pick and choose what you actually want to run the project all in one. So it's kind of a little bit like build your own blockchain, essentially is what it really is here. Alrighty. This is kind of the structure. You can zkLINK Nexus and zkLINK Origin, not to be confused with zkLINK Nova and zkLINK X. This is actually built within those two services. But zkLINK Nexus routes all the zk layer 2s on Ethereum. So all the layer 2s on Ethereum can be linked up via this, and any alternative layer 1, like maybe let's just say MultiversX, let's just say Cardano, and maybe even throw Near Protocol in that mix as well, and any layer 2s outside of the Ethereum ecosystem, it can be linked up via Origin. That's how I understand it, okay? So you have those two routes and you can build whatever you really like. So this just really does branch also outside the Ethereum ecosystem, and these guys have some pretty large backers as well. Morningstar Ventures is quite a large one. Arrington XRP Parachain Ventures is another large one too. So, and Coinbase not to mention as well. So they do have a large list of investors, but again, the main thing here is they're not actually out right now. So this might prove to be a really good time to buy. If they don't launch in favorable conditions here in May, okay, we might actually have a really good entry on this then of course make some pretty decent multiples. So yes, I will be buying zkLINK and a lot of it as well once it does come out. And lastly, MultiversX. This probably isn't one you were expecting, but MultiversX being a 1 billion market cap project, I think can very easily do a few multiples in a single month, let alone I think from this current price, I think, definitely on the cards, 15x is definitely here, all right? Now, to its all-time high, it is just over a 10x, okay? So we have a look here, it's a $500 token, actually more like a 15x, and I think it will surpass that. I had sold my MultiversX, this is full disclosure, by the way, because I currently own Near Protocol, okay? So they're very similar projects, and I sold MultiversX for Near because I just had more of it, and I think Near was a more superior project until now. I was recently in Dubai and I attended Blockchain Life, one of the crypto conventions over there, and these guys revealed some pretty large updates to the project, which I told Mark recently I'm pretty bullish on now, right? I kind of do see myself wanting to buy this. Right now, I will wait. If we fall down to $30, I won't be able to help myself. I will have to buy MultiversX, but yes, I'm definitely considering it. So what were those updates? Well, I'll share some photos I took of the event to you now. Now, this is a video. I took many photos, by the way. Most of it we kind of already knew, but this is the really large one. Gravity Layer offers restaking for MultiversX. So it's offering data availability now for MultiversX. Now, knowing these guys are probably going to branch out as well. Ben over here, was obviously talking about this in this 1-minute clip. I could play it for you, running out of time though for this video. And what he said here was kind of vague, but it did make a lot of sense if you kind of, heard some choice words. I believe that they will be doing this first of all for MultiversX, but what they'll be doing then is I think allowing this for other networks to leverage as well, like Near Protocol will. This is one of the reasons why Near Protocol has shot up so much in price. All MultiversX needs to do is put an AI label on the project, and they pretty much are an alternative to Near Protocol, all right? They're pretty much, at that point, identical projects. Now, I like to take a little bit more behind Near Protocol, but MultiversX is like right behind it, right? They're both fantastic, and I really do mean that, fantastic bottom layer projects, right? This modular layer 1, really layer 0 projects out there. Now, he also did share this, the 23rd of May, again, this May is an important date here, they're launching their Sovereign Chains demo, which will probably pump the price a little bit, I would suspect. I would say a lot, but given the current market conditions, no one really knows. And this is something to look out for. I think this year is going to hold a lot of positive news for MultiversX. Not to mention, I talk about these guys quite a lot over on Twitter. So drop down there right now and give me a follow. It takes 5 seconds out of your life, and yet it could give you one of the best opportunities to make some money in this cycle. So do not skip out on it. I'm telling you right now, if you're not over there, you're crazy. Like I mentioned here, MultiversX recently upped to the next level their partnership with Tencent Cloud, now offering a one-click solution to run a node for MultiversX, which is a pretty big step. Not consensus nodes, but the next step down. So who knows what might happen here. Tencent pretty much is exclusively working with MultiversX in the Web3 space. So they obviously see something that most of us might not. So guys, that will conclude today's video. I hope you have enjoyed and you really love the fast-paced but also thorough content. If you do want to support me, I don't know anyone else out here doing a top 5 video this in depth, this quickly. I want you to go in there and show me some love. It really does make my day when I see those likes go up. I know I'm doing the right thing by you guys. So thank you all so much. Make sure you are subscribed as well. And I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Take good care.